Hello, everybody, and welcome to my second broadcast of the day. But for everybody else here, it's their first. We're going to be talking today about Telleroo, and we'll have a little video for you on that in a second. But first, let me just introduce everybody else in the room. So, Laura, tell us who you are, what it is you do.
Hi, I'm Laura Everson. I have a couple of businesses in the accountancy sector. I'm so sorry, my dog has just walked in from his walk. I have a dog called Ted, the Labrador. We're hoping he's going to play nice. I just work very passionate about working with accounting in the cloud. So putting a lot of using a lot of these apps to bring a fully automated process in to get visibility on your financials day to day.
And that's really, really important. And we have Stephen from Telleroo.
Yeah, hi, I'm Stephen, head of product at Telleroo. Myself and the rest of the team at Telleroo try to take the pain out of payments for our clients and our accounting partners, to be fair. And that's what we're going to find out more about today.
Okay, so let's start. We did promise you a little video. Sit back, relax, grab your cup of coffee or tea, and watch this for 2 minutes and we'll be back.
Telleroo makes it easy to pay people and suppliers. You can create, fund and process pay runs without issue, saving you time and hassle. Telleroo is a secure platform that gets payment systems and finance teams working better together. During setup, we create a ring-fenced account in your business name. When you want to process a pay run, simply transfer funds from your business bank and payments can be sent instantly. Telleroo also connects and syncs your payment apps and accounting system. You can log into one place and complete all your pay run work. There's a deep integration with Xero, so bills can be sent directly into Telleroo, and toggling between the systems is easy. Pay runs follow 5 simple stages. A pay run is a group of payments created automatically or by importing a file. We cut out errors and fraud at this stage by alerting users to changes in bank details, duplicate payments, and new payees. Once processed, payments are moved to awaiting approval, and approvers are notified by email. Payments can then be checked, approved, and scheduled. If funds are made available by the scheduled date, the pay run is processed. If funds aren't available, the pay run is simply moved back to awaiting funds and the work is saved. Any changes are automatically synced back to Xero. Finance teams access the same data at all times, so reconciliation and monitoring cash flow couldn't be easier. You can check pay runs or go line by line when you need more detail. No more sending screen grabs, chasing information, or emailing back and forth. So, that's Telleroo in 2. Telleroo, pay runs without the pain.
I wondered how long that fade was going to be there at the end. It seemed to go on forever. What a fantastic piece of kit. Do you know what made the company think of it in the first place?
So I think Andrew and the rest of the founders, I think it was 6 years ago now, the original plan was starting out with an API for accountants until they realized that accountants don't care about APIs. And then they built the platform on top of it. To be fair, basically just they saw a need in the market for obviously payments and the pain that they're causing and wanted to try and bring a solution to the market.
I saw a bit in there about no more sending screen grabs. Do people actually do that?
Yes. There's still so many emails going around, isn't there, back and forwards, and it's like I especially love the submitter and approver stage. So Laura in the office, I won't pick on Karen today. Laura in the office, I can just get on with my day job. I can be scheduling all of the bills, notifying the director, the owner of the business, that these are all the bills that need to get paid. But all that's getting done for me. I'm not, going back and forward saying, can I pay this? Hold off on that. Just numerous emails when you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, all of that internal communication,
all automated, all just sending them emails for us, keeping everybody in the loop.
And I guess that the main thing there as well is what that does for relationships with the stakeholders that need to get paid as well. And actually the roll on from that is then stakeholders with clients who are going to pay you, because, you know, ultimately, if you've got complete control over the money flow within your business, then you can have proper conversations with every stakeholder in the business about when something's going to happen, how it's going to happen. And, you know, if you then stick to your word throughout all the stakeholders, everybody's happy, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much you can do with, you can see with the budgeting, forecasting. You know, if you've got all your bills there and you can plan them all in and schedule them all in, everybody's got access who needs to, everybody's got visibility who needs to. And I just think it helps to be able to set that all up and to see your position of your business with regards to, because what's got to be paid out is just as important as what's got to come in. We've spoken about credit control before, haven't we, Graham? Where how important it is. It knocks everybody, you know, down the line when we're waiting.
We're a long way from the days of your checks in the post, aren't we, Stephen?
I think, yeah, definitely. So obviously the money coming in is obviously vitally important, but yeah, with Telleroo and you're able to schedule pay runs for the future, etc. You know what you're going to need at what date and time, etc. And ring-fenced e-money account as well, and you know, for whatever reason, if you need to delay payments, you can do and stuff like that. So it just gives the control back to the people that matter.
Now, there was some mention in there as well about security. So how safe and secure is this to use?
Yeah, so 100% security is the most important part of what we do at Telleroo. To be fair, we're fully aware that we're handling clients' funds, and you know, that's a massive responsibility on our shoulder. The Telleroo system is fully protected by 2FA approval, so we know the person that comes in is the person that's meant to do it. Same with the actual approval of pay runs. And the important part thing as well, you can deviate the responsibilities. So you could have, and we recommend having separate people to be creators of the pay runs and approvers. So they both can't do the same thing, send payments without each other doing their jobs, especially with the ring-fenced e-money account as well. Means that, you know, if there's no funds in the account, nothing's going to get sent as well. So you need that transaction from your main bank account, Barclays, HSBC, whoever it is, to the Telleroo account to actually process the funds. So it just brings in more control across the business.
Well, let's just talk a little bit about, you know, people out there might be using Xero already as their accounting software. That's the main accounting software that you use with your clients, etc. Yeah. They might be saying, why do I need this on top? What are some of the main benefits of using Telleroo alongside Xero?
Yeah, so Xero is amazing, but it has so many apps linking into it for a reason, because it does hit a level of what it can and can't do. So this is just taking it next level. It's just, you know, assistant in what Xero does. So obviously Telleroo connects right into Xero. It can pull all the bills through to enable us to actually make that final step of the process. Because you can't, Xero basically just reads information in. You can't do anything for Xero, you know, directly. It's just basically reading all of the statements and the transactions. So by linking this in, you can actually have the whole end results, the whole end process, which is getting them payments made. You know, I think not always resentfully, but none of us enjoy paying people. We want to keep all our money.
I don't know whose computer it is, but we can hear someone making the payments in the background as we speak. It's just
sorry. I will turn my emails off.
It's your email. Okay, I thought it was you automating your payments.
That's my life. That's my life. One email after email. Sorry, I've closed that down. So yeah, so it's, you know, none of us particularly enjoy, you know, making payments. It's not the thing that's making us money, but it can save us all the time. It can make it pain-free, as Telleroo say. So, you know, the quickest way that you can get any of them things that cost you as a business, cost you in your business, you know, I'm just all for it. I just think, you know, it saves time, definitely removes the risk of errors. I don't know how many times I see on clients' accounts that they've, you know, paid somebody manually via the bank and they've got numbers mixed up the wrong way around. Could only be pennies, but it's pennies. Pay the wrong person. Oh, that happens.
it doesn't bear thinking about. And I guess, you know, we go back to the email thing as well. I guess some people, you know, will even attach sort of payment information to email, which is unbelievable from a security point of view. That's just a dreadful thing to do. Yeah, Steve.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, 100%. We hear horror stories of, you know, before people using Telleroo and the, you know, the connected apps within Xero, of sharing a Google Sheet and basically with, you know, supplier and bank details on it. And it takes one person to edit those bank details, and then, you know, that money's gone, to be fair. We can obviously try our best to recover anything sent to the Telleroo system. But yeah, if you can take as much manual effort out of it, the entire payment process, and it just makes, you know, a stronger process for everyone involved.
Yeah, so we're into not only sort of security, but maybe even, well, GDPR type issues as well there.
I've heard of people accidentally CCing somebody in. So, like, imagine me going to, like, my business partner, is it okay to pay this person? Shall we pay this person today? And the person waiting to be paid is actually CC'd in. And they're like, yes, I do want paying today. Thank you.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah, that's really not going to go down particularly well, is it? You know, suddenly you don't feel like you're particularly well liked as a supplier, you know, to a business. I think that whole transparency and communication thing is so important in modern day business as well. I think everybody realizes, you know, these days we're surrounded by communication, surrounded by information, so we know that business isn't easy. We know that, you know, when times are tough, it's perhaps more difficult to pay people. But that those kind of old school games of sort of like, you know, well, as I say, tell them the check's in the post. It's not in the post. It will be in the post next week or whatever, you know. And then sort of going round the houses within the business going, well, I'll tell you what, you take that phone call. I'm not here today. You know, I've been in offices where I've heard those conversations. Absolute nonsense. But I mean, in terms of efficiency these days, people are now starting to think, well, I'm paying people to have those conversations. I'm actually paying people to deflect, etc. Wouldn't it just be so much more efficient if we're right on top of the money, we're open and honest with our communication, and we pay people when we say we're going to pay people? So these kind of systems, front end and back end, really allow people to know where their business is at any kind of time.
There's an example for next week, actually. So there's one of my clients who I kind of act as like an FD support role for, and they're going on holiday, and it's month end. It's payroll. Now, there'd be a lot of people who wouldn't go on holiday at month end at payroll because they know they've got to do the payroll manually themselves. But because this client is fully set up with Xero, Dext, Telleroo, you know, they're able to go on holiday next week and not have to even think about it because I'll be doing it all. You know, well, I'll be doing it all. I'll be pushing them buttons. That takes me ages, them 5 buttons.
Yep. Just to say, by the way, this is live. So if you are watching and you want to ask any questions about Telleroo or any questions about digital accounting, full stop, do put anything in the chat and we will answer those questions. What kind of payments can Telleroo support, Stephen?
Yes, certainly. So we can support any payment in GBP to a UK bank account. So high level, it could be any business supply payment, your rent, council tax, anything like that, your payroll, or any contractors you're using, HMRC payments as well. So really, as long as it's got a UK bank account and payments in GBP, where we can help handle with that, and then hopefully in the next quarter we'll be able to add international payments as well to that as well. So
oh, is that in the pipeline, Stephen?
It definitely is. I thought I could wait for the comment someone to ask the question, but yeah.
No. Was that breaking news, Stephen?
And less breaking news, as probably a lot of our customers have been asking for quite a while, to be fair, but it's 100% our development priority.
Oh, that's a shame. I thought I was going to be able to bring this out. But I won't if it's not breaking news.
It's our breaking news today.
It's definitely our breaking news. You heard it first here. You may have heard it somewhere else beforehand, but don't worry. This is the first time you've heard it here today. Oh, and so is there a limit in terms of the amount of transactions that someone can put through Telleroo or that Telleroo can support?
So it could be one payment a month. Probably wouldn't be as useful or worthwhile for that, but it could be as low as one payment a month, or it could be tens of thousands a month. It's completely fine, and up to the client, obviously, how many transactions they do. And in terms of payment amount as well, it could be as low as a penny, or it could be as £1 million per payment, to be fair. So it's completely open to the business needs.
Wow, that's quite a considerable range. I mean, I'm imagining that, you know, for someone that's just paying out one thing a month, you know, they're probably not going to go there. But typically, Laura, when, you know, give us some kind of examples or some kind of idea, how much would, you know, maybe an example type of business be doing in terms of payouts per month?
A lot of clients that I've got using it are around about the 100 transactions a month. That seems to be around about a common one. And it depends. Every month is different. So, you know, you could have a month where you do have to pay a lot out, and you could have quieter months. What I love about Telleroo's plan as well is you're not kind of committed to being in one part of the pricing bracket. So you can fluctuate between them. If you do have a quieter month, you'll be charged for the less transactions. And obviously, if you moved up a month, that's fine. For a month, you can keep going up and down, can't you, Stephen?
Yeah, exactly right. And there's no fixed term contract as well. We don't want to tie customers into using us. We're proud of what Telleroo does, and, you know, from that, customers are happy to stay with us.
I think also what you said as well is important to note about the level of transactions, either by numbers or by amounts. We can set our own limits, can't we, Stephen, within Telleroo? So we can say that we don't want to pay any more than, you know, this amount of money out. So you've still got control there, you know, of your expenditure.
Oh, so you can say, knowing what's in the coffers, I need to keep it within this control, and then go out, etc. Yeah. I mean, looking forward, will you be blending it with more AI to actually look at what's happening within other areas of the business, or look at what's coming in, etc., and then automating the process even more? Do you think? Or
yeah, I think our plan is to conquer, you know, the accounts payable space, to be fair. So that is obviously working very close with the other apps in the space like Dex, Approval Max, etc. But also adding more into the Telleroo system regarding approval processes. So it allows customers to have that automation that they can build an exact set of rules that they want to work with. Then obviously, you know, who knows what the future holds, to be fair. I'm sure Lauren will come out with some great ideas down the line.
Let's just talk about interface wise and how people access this. So for people that don't understand, can they access via a phone, or do they need to be logged in on a laptop for this, or how do you access it as a system?
Yeah, so it's basically just a website that people log into. So we do recommend via a laptop or a computer, purely because the information itself is important that you have full, clear visibility. And if you're on your phone, you may not be giving that full attention.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can access it on your phone, and we have customers that do it on the go. So if you, for example, if you were on holiday and you had to go in and approve, it works in a pinch, to be fair. But we always recommend using it on desktop, so you give it the care and attention that, you know, payments do deserve, because it is money out the door at the end of the day.
Yeah,
that's important. Laura, I mean, you would have experienced this, but what sort of customer support did Telleroo offer?
they're amazing. They've been amazing since I signed up with them, which was actually only a few months ago. So, you know, I'm still only a novice to Telleroo. But everyone knows my passion. When I find something that works well and that can benefit our clients, then I'm all in. I'll always trial and test it myself. I'll always pick one client to be like a dummy for me and get using it myself. I never pitch anything that I'm not fully behind and that I'm not fully supportive of. And I'm I'm just so passionate about Telleroo because I see it working in real life, day-to-day businesses for my clients now. And I know the time that it frees up. I mean, we're talking hours in 1 week. We're talking probably about half a day out of a week that I've been able to myself, and through the product Telleroo, that I've been able to save some clients. And just also it's a job they don't want to do. Business owners, we've got a lot on our plates. We're doing a lot of things, and it's such a menial task of logging into a bank account, setting up pays, checking everything, as you say, because our brains are a million miles an hour, and we're always nervous about making mistakes with them type of things with payments. So I love, you said about more AI there, but I do love the control that you've still got at the moment within Telleroo, because that's always going to be something that's going to be hard to convince business owners to let go of. They'll be, okay, I like the idea, I like that it saved me money, but I still want, some sort of control over it. And I think they've got the level absolutely perfect.
Yeah, but from that point of view, I mean, maybe the system might prompt you more, saying this is the kind of this is what's actually happening within the business right this moment. This is, so you could pay this if you wanted to, giving you that more control than ever before at your fingertips in terms of what goes out, what happen. I mean, for me, that whole visibility into cash flow is the fundamental bit, really. As I say, going back to the days when I remember my dad used to sit there and he had like a little folder from the bank on his desk with a load of checks written out in envelopes, but the thing is that nobody other than him knew what was in that. And I see you're still doing that out there, aren't you? Yeah. Well, stop it. But nobody else other than him actually knew which checks he'd written, right?
Yeah.
So nobody could have that conversation in the business. It's like, well, do we invest in this today? Can we afford to do that, etc. Because there wasn't that visibility about what was actually available. And how do you run a business like that these days? You can't, can you?
Just imagine, that if you've got one person managing payments, managing bills, managing payroll, and, God forbid that person has to go out of the business urgently, it's like, and everyone's like, panic. What are we going to do? She's not there. He's not there to process payroll. It's like, I think we always say this. I think the more that you can remove yourself, because we're the issue as business owners in our businesses a lot of the time. We are the problem. I think the more that we can take ourselves out of the day-to-day running of our business, that's freedom, isn't it? That's money can't buy stuff. That's the whole world doesn't revolve around you. And guess what? Your business can run without you. It can grow. It will grow without you.
In fact, more than ever before, isn't that necessary for anyone that is a business owner to take themselves out of their business to some degree?
Definitely. I hate being relied upon. I hate it. I hate being the be all and end all. I'm like, don't ask me. Don't let me do that.
But also because there's all this other stuff that you have to do now as a business owner, like, appear on internet doing things like this, and and unless you make the time for those things, your business won't continue to grow.
No.
And so it's really, I think it's a sticking point for a lot of people in businesses that they just run out of time. They're so busy doing their business. Would you say, Steve?
No, 100% agree. It's especially for small businesses. If you're the MD, etc., and you've got a small team underneath yourself, you're going to do your payroll payments 7, 8 o'clock at night, online banking on your phone or something like that. And there's better things to do with your life, to be fair. So if you can have someone with access to the Telleroo system, your accountant, uploading your payroll files, you can give the rest of the team access and they don't know what's in your main bank account. You still have that separation between your real actual account in your main business account and what's in that Telleroo e-money account. So you can actually diversify and give away more, but keep that control yourself as well. So I think it's that perfect mix for small businesses.
Oh, I think it sounds like a no-brainer, really, to me.
Shall we show what we mean?
Yeah,
Is it
could we
okay
do
to
that?
show?
Are we allowed to do that?
Stephen, have you got the demo account, or would you like me to open my demo account?
I don't have mine open, to be fair.
No problem. Yeah, hopefully it hasn't timed me out. Can you guys keep chatting while I try and remember how to share?
Absolutely. Well, there's present down the bottom of the screen, and if you push that,
Thanks, Graham. I
there
knew
you
that.
go. Then it gives you the option for Windows. But yeah, no, I think anything that makes life easier for the small business user these days is absolutely essential. And here we go.
Have we got it?
There we are.
Okay, so yeah, I think if me and Stephen just both show you around about what we mean. So this is the opening interface page. You can see this is a demo account. I am not using real-time information.
By the way, you don't have to have bright pink in the background. If that's not your color, you can choose. That's literally just what we chose on the screen today because we're feeling kind of pink and bright and breezy. But yeah, choose whatever color you like.
Okay, so over here, this is what we're talking about. So when you set up a Telleroo account, you are given your personal account details. So just like any other bank, an account number, a sort code, it's yours. And you have the option to add funds from Telleroo desktop, or most of my clients, they just have Telleroo set up on their own bank account now, and they just do a transfer. They just transfer from their main business current account whatever amount they want to put into Telleroo. And that'll just sit there and obviously, come down when we make payments or increase when we add more money. So this is what you get on your home screen. So we've brought over some files here. We've got a payroll file. We've got a Xero bills file. If I click on the Xero bills. So what's happened here for this to all come through to Telleroo is it's linked up to Xero. We have selected in Xero the bills that we want to make payment to. And in this case, we've chosen we want to pay these 3 bills. They've come directly from Xero. And we can just click all of them and say we want to pay them all. Or we can say a director could say, no, I want them to paid. And that's how we can move it about. In Xero, we can also select, do we want to pay these today immediately, or do we want to schedule a date? So you might have pay runs of every Friday, of every first of the month, every last day of the month. So you don't have to wait until that time comes. You can select them all, pop them in your Telleroo, and they'll go out on the scheduled date. I think it's 9 a.m. they go out on the scheduled date, isn't it, Stephen?
Yeah, as standard, it's set to 9 a.m, but you can schedule that for a different time if you wanted to as well. So if you wanted them 4 a.m. in the morning, for example,
okay.
Yeah, you can reschedule for any time you want.
Cool. So once we've got them there and we've selected that we want to pay them, they move through this process. It's a 5-step process. So it's awaiting approval. That awaiting approval generates an email to come to the approver. So if they had just come through now, I would have had an email to say there's a batch waiting for approval in Telleroo. So no email that I've
question.
these bills. Yeah,
I have to ask a question at that stage. What happens if the approver is ill or away or whatever? Is there?
You can have multiple approvers. Yeah.
Right. There we go.
Yeah. They will then go through to scheduled to sit at whatever date, or if it's instantaneous. If there is not the funds in the account, you can still get them to this stage, and it will wait until you've received the money off the owner of the business. The director of the business has put the funds into Telleroo, I should say. And then it will just go to sending, and it will just go to paid. I think what's also key there as well is that it then auto reconciles all of the transactions within Xero. So it even takes away the element of, marking your transactions as reconciled, doesn't it, Stephen? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Certainly. So because we're creating batches in Xero, basically on the left-hand side, we'll post back that you paid £7,000 in this instance, and then I'll auto basically reconcile against the batch created in Xero. So it's one click, no matter how many payments are in that pay run as well. So it's the reconciliation process just makes it so much easier as well. You can reconcile per payment if you wanted to, but obviously it's going to just take more time. Per pay run just makes it a lot simpler process, and you don't lose any of that granularity as well.
So, Laura, in terms of, someone's using this as a process, how much does that help the accountant at the other end? Let's hear it from the accountant's point of view.
Oh, it's just so gorgeous. It's so beautiful.
That's a technical accounting term.
It's gorgeous and beautiful, and it just helps massively because we know that no errors have been made with business owners clicking OK to reconcile something that they should maybe have not clicked OK to reconcile. Not that that happens often or anything.
So potentially there's a cost saving there as well from an accountancy point of view in terms of time, because there's less chance that you're actually then going to have to spend time working out what the hell's happened.
That is a very, very good way to put it. What the hell happened here? That could be a whole new show in itself. What the hell happened?
Absolutely.
No, it is. I mean, a lot of us in the industry now don't price like in the archaic of hourly rates and things like that. A lot of us price per service. So but it definitely, your cost of your accounts are going to be higher at the end of the year if you've had a lot to do with it and done it incorrectly with your bookkeeping. It's not incorrect then as you're going, because if you're running your business day to day and you have incorrectly reconciled things and you've made mistakes, then your information is not live. It's not real time. You're making decisions on incorrect information.
Yeah.
So
and then from an accountancy point of view, it's easier for you to do what you really want to do as an accountant, which is to advise what someone should be doing with their money.
Yeah, we can have so much better conversations, so many more helpful conversations, intuitive conversations, because we can look and we can say, these are all your bills scheduled for next week, but look at your cash flow. You're only expecting this much to come in invoices, but you think you're going to pay all that out next week. Not going to happen. Let's look at this. So we can give them real valuable conversations,
and you can start looking at projections, and you can start saying, well, maybe it makes sense if you say they're a sole trader, it's probably time to start looking at being a limited company or doing this. It's going to make a difference in terms of your tax at the end of the year or whatever, but you can see that in advance more because you can see where the business is going.
I think it's a fair process with this as well, because when you're a business owner with just all these payments in your head, or we've spoke about this as well, it's who shouts the loudest of who gets paid. With this, we can look at it and go, no, that's not fair. They're 10 days overdue. You need to pay them. It's not just pay the first person in your head, or look at this, go off who is your, more urgent debtors and get them paid.
I think a key part as well is, say for example the director decided not to pay Lighthouse and cancelled the payment, that'll automatically move back to awaiting payment in Xero as well. So there's none of that. You're meant to pay them on then. Did you pay them? Did you not? Etc. So you could leave it awaiting approval for a few days later. But if the director decides not to pay them and cancels it, then it keeps everything up to date as well.
Yeah,
that's important.
Full trail.
Yeah.
Cool. What's the next part of the process?
Okay, so I mean, there's not a lot more to it. That's how simple and easy it is. You do have these tabs at the top, so you can see a list of all your transactions individually. We can drill down into all of these, so we can see references. We can get more information. We can download receipts. We can send bulk remittances, so you don't have to download a PDF for remittance, save that to your desktop, attach that to an email.
Yeah, I noticed it said sending and then paid at the end. Can you just explain what happens in those two steps?
So the sending part basically is us processing the transaction. So all Telleroo's transactions are sent via faster payment, which in most cases will appear in the recipient's bank within a few minutes, but in worst case scenarios, it can take up to 2 hours as it goes through the faster payment scheme. So sending is there more of just it's in the flight process sort of thing, and it's ready there for a long time. But then shortly, once we've got that confirmation from the bank, it's been sent, it'll go to paid.
Okay. So,
and it will not pay the wrong person, would it, Stephen? It's doing that checking process for us in the background. So what banks do, it's checking the name, sort code, and account number. So
yeah.
we do a modular check on all the bank details to make sure that basically they're mathematically correct. It catches a high percentage of any invalid transactions. There is always some that slip through the net. I would love it to be foolproof method, but we're not there yet, and I don't think any bank is, to be fair. But we do catch a high number of incorrect transactions at the import.
So it's that same process for people that haven't ever done that before, but maybe know about their online banking. So that same process where it goes when you choose to pay someone, it's a match.
So we don't do that yet. So we do basically mathematical checks on the sort code and account number. So there's formulas in the background that basically means that the account number is valid against the sort code. So they're the ones we do, and that catches a majority of them. We will add that confirmation of name hopefully later this year too.
Ah, there you go. Another exclusive. I won't bring out the breaking news again.
Exclusive.
On this page now, we've got a full history, so we can do a search as well in Telleroo. If somebody says they haven't had payment, or we just want to check back on something, we can look to make sure that payment did get made successfully. But yeah, I mean that's as simple as it is. Is there anything, Stephen, that you'd like to pick up on of what Telleroo can do that I've not kind of shown?
Yeah, from a high level, that is it. Obviously, we've got a great integration with Xero. We have a growing number of integrations with payroll software as well, and file uploaders for the ones we don't have. So it just avoids the need for keying in manual data for multiple payees. And try and make it as simple as possible.
Oh, that's something it will do as well, isn't it? If you select, say, a supplier has sent you multiple invoices, and you selected to pay all 10 invoices. It will pay all 10 invoices, but send it as one bank payment and reconcile them all together, won't it?
Yeah, that's correct. So reduce the amount of transactions you send, but also reduces your cost, and just means it's a simpler process. Within the Telleroo system, you can still see a breakdown of all the invoices and payments it relates to. But yeah, we just join those together. It's a toggle you can turn off if you want, but most of our clients think it's a great little feature.
Yeah, that just reduces bank charges. That reduces bank charges. Yeah. That makes so much sense. In terms of your pricing model, can you go into that a little bit? Should we stop sharing screen now? Should we do that?
Of course.
Yeah, okay, so we'll just remove that. Yeah, in terms of the pricing model, because it's very transparent, isn't it? Just give us kind of idea of that.
Certainly. So it works on the amount of transactions you do per month, and we work in batches of 50, 100, 250, 500, etc. And we give our county partners like Laura basically discounts against basically what any client would get direct, because we know basically Laura and the team basically take out so much of the hassle from ourselves, obviously from that first line customer support. So we pass on the savings from our side to them. There's no extra fees for topping up your account. The only thing extra you may get charged is if you top up via Chaps, because it's an old legacy system and you'll get charged from sending it and receiving it at the same time. But for bog standard faster payments back to the Telleroo system and sending out, it's really transparent and fair in our pricing, we think.
I love that. Chaps is an old system. Old Chaps. There we go.
So basically, you'd have to be my new BFF to get discount off me.
That sounds like a grand idea. So that's been an absolutely fantastic sort of whirlwind trip around Telleroo. If you're watching this throughout the day, you want to know more, you want to understand how Telleroo could really help your business, and you're using Xero already, why wouldn't you want to be having a chat with Laura? She's here on LinkedIn. She's across other channels as well. Do come and find her. Connect and have a conversation about Telleroo. If you want to, you can also talk to Stephen here back up the fact that Telleroo is a fantastic product. Thanks, Stephen. Thanks, Laura, as ever, for taking part in this broadcast today. Plenty of thought for people out there that are self-employed or running their business, want to get help with their payment side of things. Maybe at the moment, as you say, Stephen, doing it at 8 o'clock in the evening. That is no life. Come on, folks. Change your life for the better.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to do this.
Yeah, why? Why? You know, the name of my company is A Better Way of Life. So anything that promotes that is absolutely fine by me. You know, if you want a better way of life, one of the things you ought to do is stop being silly with your time. Come and talk to Laura about how you can save time and save money using an app like Telleroo. Until next time, when we will be back, and I can't tell you what it's going to be about yet because we haven't discussed it. But see what I did there. But we will be back with more great accounting stories, news, and information tidbits for you, so that we just keep giving the value out, don't we, Laura? It just doesn't stop from us. We'll be back soon. And enjoy the rest of your Friday. Don't go and spend all of your money all at once. And if you are going to spend your money, do it through a very sensible app like Telleroo. Until next time, bye for now.